Oh, damn!
What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the chronically charismatic Dr. Disaster, and in the video game world, I consider myself to be an equal opportunity hater of things. I have my preferences, but I generally don't take part in the console wars. Viewers of this channel will note that I have called out and talked shit about PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo.
Whom do you serve?
No one. Now, throughout the years, I have owned and played the hell out of each of the consoles, so I see merit in all of them, but one thing that cannot be denied, no matter how much you like the Xbox, no matter how superior some people may think that the Xbox is to other systems, the truth is that in the past few generations, the Xbox console has been getting completely destroyed by the competition.
Nobody likes you. Everybody hates you. You're gonna lose.
In the last generation of consoles, the Xbox One sold 58 million units, while its competition, the PS4, sold 117 million units, literally doubling their numbers. And during that time frame, the Nintendo Switch sold 153 million units, beating the Xbox One by almost 100 million. And in the current generation, the newest Xbox has sold 33 million units, while the PS5 has sold 80 million, and the Switch 2, which has only been released for about 4 months now, has sold about 9 million, meaning that they are over 25% of the sales figures for the Xbox already. No matter how you slice it, this is humiliating for a company with as much prestige as Xbox.
I'm so embarrassed. I wish everybody else was dead.
And that seems to be why we are seeing this rumor floating around in the past few hours. It sounds like this is from a pretty reputable source, and it explains a lot of the actions that we have seen coming from Xbox recently. It looks like Xbox is throwing in the towel and calling it quits on the Xbox platform. They are looking to simply produce software now. But no matter how badly they may have lost in the past several years, and I attribute a lot of this to their dog shit hiring practices. This is a company that has been hollowed out by progressive activists over the years, putting out guidelines like this for their company, after all. But no matter how bad they lost the console war, there is one area where they have definitely won.
I'm the champion of failures.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've had a lot of people tell me that they have been unwillingly unsubscribed to the channel recently, so make sure you look into that, and also, give me a follow over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. And if you feel like supporting the channel and helping keep the lights on, consider becoming a member for as little as $5 per month. But let's have a peek at this rumor coming out about Xbox. One thing to keep in mind as we talk about it is this recent news that Game Pass just upped their prices on Game Pass Ultimate by 50%, and their premium memberships went up to $15 but eliminated day one access to new launches. Now they are advertising that you will get that access to new games within a year of release. People are naturally leaving Game Pass in droves, as we talked about the other day, and this is happening right before a lot of their major releases are coming out for the year, including Black Ops 7, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Outer Worlds 2. So it definitely comes off like they are a company who almost wants to drive people away from their Game Pass model right now, or at least they don't want subscribers at the low prices that they were paying before. The news was that Xbox was targeting about 100 million users on Game Pass by 2030 in order for it to be viable and solvent, but they have been stuck at around a third of that number for a long time now, and it simply doesn't look like it's going to go up. So patience on this experiment is wearing thin, especially in light of this news here, where it looks like they lost an estimated $300 million in sales to their own Game Pass model on just the Call of Duty title alone from last year. So, all of this is important context to understand this news that we have coming out about the Xbox console. With that in mind, let's read about this rumor in this article here from Insider Gaming. It says at the bottom there, it has been claimed by a reliable insider that Microsoft is planning some intense changes for the Xbox brand in the coming months. First, it has been suggested that there will be a massive round of layoffs heading into Q1 2026, which is hardly a leap, and that the once concrete plans for the next console generation are now up in the air and might never materialize. And considering how stagnant the sales numbers for their console have been over the past few years, this is completely unsurprising. This has to be completely eye-opening for the management of the company as they raise prices on their consoles in a desperate attempt to drive revenue into their coffers. But this raising of prices isn't exactly going to entice new buyers, and in fact, a fair amount of retailers have already come out and said they are pulling Xboxes from their shelves. Anyhow, reading on, the article says next, the claims go on to suggest that the future of Xbox is in games publishing and not hardware, with the brand focusing on the top performing IPs within its portfolio and no longer worrying about manufacturing traditional consoles. Before diving in, it should be stressed that this is a pinch of salt discussion, but the insider was given gas by The Verge's Tom Warren during the most recent episode of the Xbox Era podcast, suggesting the source knows a lot of what goes on internally. An insider who successfully tipped and hinted at the Xbox shift towards third-party publishing and plans to replace staff with AI tools at Microsoft, dropped a huge rumor regarding the future of Xbox hardware. They wrote, without going into too much detail, not long after the last round of layoffs, next one should be coming in Q1 of 26, by the way, and it's going to be just as massive as the last one. Some rumblings out of Xbox started coming out that were a little hard to believe. The ramifications of the Call of Duty Game Pass gambit not working out were just starting to get properly measured, but the thing that really stuck out to me was that suddenly really concrete plans for actual Xbox hardware went from being definitive to up in the air, which was really startling given that this thing was meant to be out relatively soon. It was one of those situations where, despite folks being told, hey, we want to pull the trigger on this in 2026, the steps you would need to take in the lead up to delivering a new console gen weren't being met. Lots of things that were sure things started getting pushed, the Costco retailer pulling Xbox, and apparently they are one of many that we'll learn about soon, told me all I needed to know. Yeah, that phenomenon is pretty damn telling, especially when we are talking about a company that has raised prices on their consoles several years into its life cycle. This means that they're pulling the Xbox console, suggesting that they aren't selling any Xboxes at Costco, but meanwhile Xbox is raising prices. That information doesn't go together. The only way it makes sense is if you've got a company trying desperately to drive in revenue into their coffers. But then the article finishes quoting this post, saying, to sum it up, the future of Xbox is software publishing, with a significantly honed-in focus on profitable IPs, cloud gaming being the home of the Xbox platform, transitioning Game Pass into basically becoming the point of entry subscription for xCloud access, which will continue to drive its price tag higher, by the way. They aren't done there just yet either, and releasing their software on any device that has a marketplace and users willing to buy their titles. Maybe some OEM thing will take up the Xbox name, but given what is clearly a collapse in favorable mindshare and faith in said brand, I'm not even sure a third-party OEM is going to want to have an Xbox console by the time Microsoft is done with their reorienting of the division. Suffice to say, this is one of the most mismanaged brands in all of gaming history. The only thing keeping Xbox afloat is all that Microsoft money, but things must be really bad for their numbers if they are even considering getting out of the console business. What most people don't understand about selling consoles is that the money made on console sales these days is virtually nothing. And in fact, a lot of times the manufacturers make literally nothing on the actual console sale. The real money is in selling software on their online platform. Xbox takes about 25% of the sales of any game that sells on their platform from another company, and they get 100% of the sales of any game sold under their own umbrella. That is an astronomical amount of money, and it's the real thing that Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam are fighting over. They all want a cut of the online store sales. What this goes to show, though, is how Game Pass and other subscription services do not seem to work in the video game world, and it goes to show how horribly mismanaged everything under Xbox has been for the past several years. Game Pass has been a massive flop, as many of us said it would be. And to top it off, maybe if they spent less time doing shit like this, telling developers they can't make curvy female characters for their platform, and then if they spent more time making games for their actual customers and not activists, then maybe they would actually sell some games and they wouldn't be in such dire straits. But what do I know? I'm just someone who has been in this hobby for literal decades. But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your contempt for this company into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.